Every night while you sleep, a hidden cleaning system switches on inside your skull. Scientists call it the glymphatic system. It flushes waste out of your brain, waste that builds up every single day you're awake. And here's what a 2013 discovery at the University of Rochester revealed. This system runs at almost 10 times its normal speed during deep sleep. Awake, it barely runs at all. So if you're over 60 and your thinking feels a half step slower than it used to, that slowness may not be your age. It may be a cleaning crew that never finished its shift. Think about your last few mornings. Not the dramatic days, the ordinary ones. You got your sleep, you weren't sick, and still something was just slightly off. Maybe you were in the middle of telling a story, one you've told before, and the thread slipped. The detail you wanted simply wasn't where you reached for it. Or you walked into a room with a clear purpose, stood there, and the purpose was gone. It shows up in quiet ways, double-checking the grocery list you already wrote, rereading a letter because the first pass didn't quite land. The sense, late in the day, that your mind has gone heavy, like it's carrying something it can't set down. Research shows this experience is incredibly common after 60. Most people are told the same thing, it's just getting older. But the science of sleep tells a different story. And it points straight back to that cleaning crew we just talked about. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what your brain does during sleep, and why 7 hours keeps coming up as the number that matters most. There are 3 jobs your sleeping brain has to finish before morning. Miss any one of them, and you feel it the next day. By the end of this video, you'll know all 3. And one simple change you can make tonight to protect them. Let's start with the first job, cleaning. All day while your brain is doing its work, thinking, remembering, solving, it produces metabolic waste. Think of it the way a busy kitchen produces dishes. Useful work, but the mess piles up. One of those waste products is a protein called β-Amyloid. In small amounts, it's harmless. The problem is when it isn't cleared out, because over years, β-Amyloid is the protein that builds into the plaques associated with Alzheimer's disease. So how does the brain take out the trash? This is what the 2013 Rochester discovery made clear. During deep sleep, the cells around your brain's blood vessels actually shrink slightly. The spaces between them widen, and cerebrospinal fluid, clean fluid, rushes through those widened channels, washing the waste away. That's the glymphatic system, the cleaning crew. Here's the part that should make every adult over 60 pay attention. A 2018 study found that just one night of missed sleep measurably raised β-Amyloid levels in the brains of healthy adults. One night. And as we age, the glymphatic system already slows down on its own, which means an aging brain depends on good sleep more, not less. Picture it the way researchers describe it. A flexible, well-rested brain opens those channels wide and the fluid moves freely. A sleep-deprived brain keeps them narrow, and the waste from yesterday is still sitting there when you wake up. That heavy, clouded feeling in the morning? That's not a mystery. That's a cleaning shift that got cut short. So the first reason 7 hours matters, deep sleep is when the trash goes out. Less sleep, more left behind. But clearing waste is only the first job. The second one is the reason you remember anything at all, and it's the one most people have never heard about. The second job your sleeping brain does is called memory consolidation. Here's what that means in plain language. During the day, new memories, a conversation, a name, where you set down your keys, are held in a part of the brain called the hippocampus. Think of the hippocampus as a temporary notepad, fast to write on, but small and not built to hold things for long. During deep sleep, your brain does something remarkable. It takes the day's notes off that temporary pad and files them into long-term storage across the cortex, the larger, more permanent part of the brain. Researchers can actually watch this happen. They see the hippocampus and the cortex firing together in coordinated bursts over and over through the night. Each burst is a memory being moved from the notepad to the filing cabinet. This is why sleep and memory are not two separate topics. They are the same topic. When older adults say they feel more forgetful, the question researchers ask first is often not about the memory itself, it's about the sleep. And here is where it becomes personal for anyone over 60. As we age, deep sleep naturally shrinks. A young adult might spend a healthy stretch of the night in deep sleep. By our 60s and 70s, that stretch gets shorter, sometimes much shorter. So the notepad still fills up every day, but the filing window is smaller. The transfer doesn't finish. Think about what that feels like from the inside. You had the conversation. You were paying attention. But 2 days later, the name is gone. Not because you didn't learn it, but because it never got moved into permanent storage. The memory was written on the notepad. Then the page got cleared before anyone filed it. That is the second reason 7 hours matters. It isn't only about feeling rested, it's the time your brain needs to actually keep what you lived that day. 2 jobs down, clearing the waste, filing the memories. But the third job is the one that surprised researchers the most. And once you understand it, the number 7 stops being a guess. The third job is called synaptic pruning. Your brain is a vast web of connections, synapses, and you make new ones every day. But not every connection is worth keeping. Some are noise, background clutter, the trivial stuff your brain logged without you asking it to. During deep sleep, your brain does a kind of overnight sorting. It strengthens the connections that matter, the things you want to remember, and it gently quiets the ones that don't. Researchers sometimes describe it as the brain turning down the background volume so the important signals come through clearly. Why does this matter so much after 60? Because without that nightly pruning, the noise accumulates. The brain gets crowded. And a crowded brain is exactly what mental fog feels like. Too many weak signals competing, and the one you actually need is harder to find. Now, what does this mean for you tonight? Here is where the 7 hours becomes practical. All 3 of these jobs, clearing, filing, pruning, happen mostly in deep sleep. And deep sleep is concentrated in the first half of the night. Research on adults over 60 points to a consistent window. Roughly 7 hours of sleep gives the brain enough total deep sleep time to finish all 3 jobs. Significantly less, and one of them gets cut short. So 3 simple things, starting tonight. 1. Protect a consistent bedtime. The brain schedules these jobs around your routine. A steady sleep and wake time, even on weekends, helps it run on schedule. 2. Keep the room cool and dark. Deep sleep deepens when your body temperature drops slightly. A cooler room is one of the simplest, most reliable ways to get more of it. 3. Give yourself a true 7-hour window. Not 7 hours of hoping, but 7 hours of opportunity. If you need to be up at 6, that means lights out by 11, not 11:30 with the television still on. No supplements, no equipment, no prescription, just protecting the window your brain already knows how to use. Now, here's what makes this so remarkable. The 3 jobs we just walked through, clearing the waste, filing the memories, pruning the noise, they don't happen at random moments scattered through the night. They are concentrated. They depend on deep sleep, and deep sleep is front-loaded into the first hours after you fall asleep. This is why the timing is everything. The 2022 follow-up from the Rochester team made something clear that should change how every older adult thinks about sleep. The brain does not catch up by sleeping in the next morning. The cleaning crew doesn't run a double shift to make up for a missed night. The filing window doesn't reopen. Late morning sleep is lighter sleep, and lighter sleep does not do these 3 jobs. So when you protect 7 hours, you are not just chasing a number on a sleep tracker. You are giving the glymphatic system its full shift. You are giving the hippocampus time to empty the notepad. You are giving your brain the quiet hours it needs to turn down the noise. 3 different jobs, 1 window. And that window is something you have far more control over than almost anything else about your aging brain. If you've been waking up foggy and quietly wondering whether this is just what getting older feels like, here is what the research wants you to hear. It is not simply your age. It is very often a cleaning crew that keeps getting sent home early, and a cleaning crew can be given its full shift back. You don't need to fix everything tonight. Pick one of the 3. Maybe it's setting a consistent bedtime. Maybe it's turning the thermostat down a few degrees. Maybe it's deciding that tonight, lights out actually means lights out. One change, repeated, until it becomes simply the way you sleep. Your brain has not lost its ability to clear, to file, to sharpen itself. It is remarkably good at all three. It has been doing them every night of your life. It is only asking for the time. And the time is something you can give it, starting tonight. I'd love to know, which of the three are you going to try first? Tell me in the comments. We read everyone when we plan upcoming videos. And if this helped you understand your own sleep a little better, subscribe to Brain Health After 60. Every week, we take one more piece of brain research and turn it into something you can actually use. There's a lot more we'll explore together in upcoming videos, and we'd be glad to have you along. This channel translates peer-reviewed research into educational content. The voiceover is AI-generated. Full sources and disclaimers are in the description. Thank you for watching.